All right, coming off a Lions victory, it's game balls time. And Chris, don't you think it's always more fun to give away game balls when the team wins than when they lose? It almost feels
Yeah,
like you're not allowed to when they lose.
I don't think you are. Yeah, when they lose, it's like let's just shower and get out of here.
Let's just shower. Let's get out of here. I don't want to deal with any of this stuff. Let's go. And it always seems silly. Like it's almost like participation trophies, So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let you take a look at this box score. But Chris, we're gonna start on the offensive end, then we're gonna go defense, then we're gonna go overall MVP. So stay tuned. You're gonna want to hear this. I think you're gonna like some of our arguments as to why. But Chris, why don't you go ahead? Give me your player that gets the offensive game ball for the Detroit Lions against the Washington Commanders.
So offensive game ball, I'm going to give it to Deandre Swift. And I
Thank
keep
you so
talking
much
about,
because that's not mine.
yeah,
So
good. I keep talking about the big play, and it was a big turning point game or play. I was at Ford Field. I could kind of feel the crowd deflating. We're getting a little nervous, and he falls down on that little screen pass, gets up, makes a play, scores a touchdown. And so overall, his box score was good, and he did a lot of good things, had a couple good runs. But when you could just make that single play to kind of turn the tide, get the crowd back into it, and from there, it just felt really good. So I give offensive game ball to Swift.
So Deandre Swift, 5 carries, 56 yards, 2 catches, 31 yards, and a touchdown. By my math, okay, that is 7 touches for 87 yards. Now, when you're looking at that, did it feel like Swift only touched the ball 7 times, or did it feel like he was everywhere?
It felt like he was everywhere. It felt like we were feeding it to him, but
I know.
we weren't. Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
we were, and that's because the times that he was out there, even though he was limited and he was hurt, he made such a huge impact that he made you feel his presence.
Mm-hmm.
Like averaged a first down every time he touched the ball. Like
Yeah,
I mean, like he 7 times for 86 yards or whatever I said before 87. Like that's unbelievable to me, and it was really hard for me not to give my game ball to Swift. I think the best play of the game goes to Swift, the one that you were talking about. But my offensive game ball, I'm going to go a little bit of a different direction here. You ready for this? Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's it's Amon-Ra St. Brown. Okay, so you talk about Swift and doing a lot with his touches. St. Brown had 11 touches for a ridiculous amount of yards. I can't even do that quick math. Right, 2 carries for 68 yards, 9 catches, 169 yards. And by the way, he did those 9 catches on 12 targets. Remarkably effective. And that's one of the things that I loved about it so much. And that's why Amon-Ra St. Brown's getting my game ball, because not only was he the big play guy, you're talking about the 58-yard run, the end around. You're talking about 48, 49 yards across the middle on an early drive. You're talking about a contested touchdown catch. And then the other touchdown catch, and maybe we'll see this on film later, when the corner has outside leverage. In other words, he's trying to keep Amon-Ra St. Brown to go inside. He still finds a way to run an out and get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like right on, I mean, the guy made the little plays, he made the big plays, and he was the reason that Jared Goff looked like he had a good game.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead
That's a
and
good
give
one.
my offensive game ball. But isn't it nice that we can argue about two guys that both played really
Yeah.
well?
Oh my gosh. I know. I
Because if
love
you
it.
want, you just had a quarterback throw for 4 touchdowns, and he wasn't even consideration. He wasn't even in consideration for a game ball,
No,
right?
exactly.
Like, oh my goodness. All right. How about defensively? What do you got defensively for us as your game ball? We'll go to some
Man,
defensive stats here.
defensively is a little difficult. I know Hutchinson had the 3 sacks.
Okay.
One of those sacks was like a legit. I mean, not, they're all legit, but one was like, oh, that was a nice Hutch. The other is like kind of scramble, ramble, and he ended up being the one to tackle him.
Yep.
So not taking anything away from him, but obviously those 3 sacks really stand out. But I I want to go to gosh, it's the whole unit for me defensively. I thought they really played well, but
You're gonna
I
give it
was
to a position or something?
yeah, but I really liked Charles Harris. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
give a game ball to him just because
Okay.
we were at the goal line, we get stuffed, and now 2 plays
There it
later
is.
he gets the safety. I was watching him all game, and man,
There it is.
he's a great he is a great player. I don't know if great is the word. He's a good defensive end that,
Mhm.
you forget about him with everything that Hutch is doing. So defensively, I like Charles Harris just because he made a scoring play. I'll give him a game ball.
Yeah. So he had the best play. There's no doubt about
Mhm.
that. And it's funny because once again, we disagree, which is
Hmm.
great. And it would be super easy for me to go with Hawkinson. And I think this is where I'm going to get a little bit weird on you because
Or Hutchinson.
why did I say Hawk? I
I
say
don't
that
know.
sometimes. I'm so
That's all right.
sorry. Hutch. I would say Hutch because he had the 3 sacks.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. He kind of disappeared in the second half because of the injury. I'm gonna go weird here. I'm gonna go Okuda.
Yeah.
And he had Scary Terry all game. Scary Terry McLaurin. I don't know if he was shadowing him or if he just ended up on his side often, but Jeff Okuda was as close to a shutdown corner as you could be in this game. And the one when he went out with, by the way, how scary is it seeing him on the ground in game 2 of the regular season? You're like, please
Oh.
don't be real. Please don't be real. And then they're like, oh, it's just cramps. I'm like, okay, great. Don't come back in because I don't want you to now tear an Achilles again because you're
Oh.
favoring it. But like, he was fantastic. He did a good job in
That's a
defending
good
the
one.
run.
Yep.
He was the reason our secondary held in. And I know what we're saying. Like, well, the defensive line had, we had like 5 or 6 sacks and we were getting good pressure and stuff. Hutchinson had 2 of those sacks that were coverage sacks. I think we can both admit that to be true. Okuda was locked down in this game. And honestly, I just want to give him the game ball because I just feel so happy for the guy.
Yes.
Coming back year 3, all these expectations, torn Achilles, shouldn't even be playing yet. And not only is he playing, but he's playing at by far the highest level that he's ever played
Yep.
as an NFL player.
He looked good. That's a great one.
Okay. MVP.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the feel good story that is a truly feel good story of Dan Skipper. Just
Oh, good for you.
to
Good for
be
you.
if you don't know the story, you can look it up. But basically, he's just been a guy that's gone tryout after tryout. He said it in a press conference. It's his it's his 6th season. He's never made a team out of camp. Never
Mhm.
made it. And you look at our injuries. We have our centers down, our guard, our backup guard, our other guard. So all of a sudden, you've got this guy that was cut on the practice squad. We're going to bring you back in, and we're actually going to move you to guard. And so now you're going to get your, I don't know if it's his first NFL career start or not, but you're going to get a start. No, it wasn't his first start. It was first start at guard, I guess. But he goes
Yep.
in, plays
It
great.
might have been his
We're going to
first.
show it
Yeah.
on film on Swift's first long run. I mean, he just drives his guy literally 20 yards back. I think it was like a DB that came down, creeped down. Doesn't matter. Drove him back. And you just like, man, if we've got a team filled of these types of guys, man, sky's the limit. And it's just like, it feels good. We're tough. We've got guys that can come in. Such a feel good story. So he just kind of represents that whole interior offensive lineman that, oh man, I was getting nervous. Just like you were saying earlier, I was
Yeah.
just like, the wind was coming out of my sail because of, man, it's just hard to overcome 4 injuries to our offensive line because you had, like I was just saying, center, guard, backup guard. They're all out. So now you're just trying to find guys. And so you bring in this former guy that we just cut. He's a tackle and put him at guard, plays great. We do everything we need to. So that's why he's my MVP. Love it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I should give an MVP now. Like that's such a good,
Oh,
and the emotion on his face when Dan Campbell singles him out after the game,
yep.
and truly without him, we don't win that game. I know that sounds weird, right? And did he play well enough that you have to start considering if Jonah Jackson gets healthy, do you need to consider moving Skipper into a guard and getting Logan Stenberg out of the starting rotation because he actually played that well
Yeah.
and
And
Stenberg
oh,
has like zero pass blocking abilities. So, like it's one of those things. So I'm actually going to go with you on this, Chris. I'm going to give my MVP to the exact same guy. It wasn't the guy who balled out, but he's the guy who made it available. The Lions were gashing the Commanders right up the gut on the run
right up the
over
gut.
and over and over again behind him
Mm-hmm.
and behind him and Evan Brown and Logan Stenberg, and maybe I'll give it to all three of them. The interior
Yeah,
offensive line, like the tackles did exactly what they were supposed to do, but this interior offensive line played like a veteran, seasoned starting offensive line. And they're three guys that probably haven't played next to each other in that order ever.
ever. It's like,
Ever.
okay, you guys are in, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And
Here we
we had
go.
just heard about this Commanders line and all these former first rounders and Alabama, wherever they came from, big school. And it's just like, oh jeez, just
And they
we
are
need to
good.
start the run if we wanted to, and dude, it was awesome, man. It was great. It was great
It
to
was great.
see, just the whole thing come together, because we've been saying, man, it looks good, it feels good. Hard Knocks, all the in-depth stuff that we've gotten with the Lions, and then to see, but we're like, we gotta win though at
Yeah, we
some
got to win
point,
though.
and we did. So I'd love it.
And we did. Well, hey, that was fun filming it with you. Fun doing those game balls with guys that actually deserve it and have earned it and played a good game, a full good game, not just a
Mhm.
fourth quarter or something like that, but actually earned it and found a way to win. It was fun to watch. And hey, if you like this channel, if you think somebody else deserves a game ball or MVP and you don't like a feel good story, whatever, hit that comment below. Hit the subscribe button below as well. Love having you part of this community, and we'll see you guys on the next one.